Hi everybody. I am still working on defoliating this tree. And it's taking a while, of course, because there's just so much to do on it. But as you can see, I've worked my way a lot further towards the ground, or towards the bottom of the trees. And I have filled up more than 4.5 barrels. And I have managed to cut a bit more than half of the foliage off of there. So once I get around to putting it back, I'll have a lot of leaves to work with. So that's all good. I've moved a bigger tank here for the creosote, and I'm already at 104 buckets. Not nearly enough. I started with 128 before. But once I fill this up, should be a good amount. And of course there's these two tanks that were already here last episode. And I've made a silo for cobblestone, because I had already filled up a barrel and a half with that. So while I'm waiting for that creosote to build up, I'm back to trimming the tree. There is technological stuff I could be doing down there, really. Like improving my storage system, or building more tree farms so that they can actually keep up with the coke oven. But I really want to get this tree done. I really want to get into some magic, but since the new tree is where I want to do all my magic stuff, I really want to get this done. And it's taking forever. Well, look at that. I'm level with my original treehouse. I must be getting pretty close to the bottom of this then. Does seem as if I've been making pretty good progress. Oh yeah. We're really close to being done with all the leaves on here. It looks really ugly and pretty at the same time with all the lights on it, doesn't it? So, now we know what a sequoia looks like without its leaves. Most of them, anyway. I'm not going to go off and chase down all the ones that are left. So for my next trick, I'm going to cut this tree down to about a Y of 80, maybe 90. I'll decide when it gets to where I like it. Creepers. Anyway, as for the how, I have decided to go old school with a Buildcraft quarry. setting it up may be a little bit clunky. And I do have RF tools, so technically I could just do an RF tools builder. But I kind of like going old school. And RF tools builders take a lot of energy. So I figure I'll do it the Buildcraft way. Okay, we have our old school quarry pretty much ready to go. I have barrels set up for both redwood bark and redwood wood. And the chest should catch everything else. And I will set up the filter as soon as the bark and wood actually comes into the chest. And we've got the hobbyist steam engine with some water, a stack of coal coke, and more water ready to pump into it. As soon as I put this lever in the actual right spot. Ah, there we go. I do love the way this thing just throws stuff out there. And quarry. It's acting rather odd, but it's definitely a quarry. Well, it sure seems a lot faster when you're not the one doing the chopping. And as you can see, it's been making pretty good progress. I plan on stopping it once it gets down to those 2 torches there, and that's when I plan to start sculpting this tree. But in the meanwhile, I have gotten a few other things done. My creosote oil is up to 332 buckets, which is finally a decent amount. But I'm still going to wait until it's full before I actually start these boilers, or this boiler. And I've also expanded my tree farm up to 5 woodcutters now. Which is finally keeping my coke oven ahead of the game on oak wood. Earlier it was running out. Still, I'm looking forward to this being done so I can get started on my magic tree. I have ideas that I have been waiting for weeks to carry out. And there's a lot of stuff that I want to use magic for. I want to get golems working on my harvest. And I'm really looking forward to playing with Ars Magica as well. I could have started this on a perfectly normal ground building, but I wanted to start it off right. Well, I've decided that's cut down far enough, and I'm ready to start building it up. Well, almost. Let's get this out of the way first. Okay, so we have our barrel of bark, and we have our barrel of redwood, which we can be used for building later. And down here, we have 5, 7, 8 barrels of redwood leaves, which we'll be using after we build on some wood, basically in an attempt to sculpt something like a giant bonsai tree. And we're going to build a house on the bonsai tree. A few houses if I can actually manage to build enough wood for it. It's not going to be as tall as any of these trees, but it's going to be majestic in an entirely different way. Now this is only 9 meters wide here. We're going to spread it out 5 more and make it, well, we're going to spread it out a bit more to make it more like 20 meters wide. A kind of a flattish area. And then we can build some branches on and put some tree canopies around, and well, we'll just see what we come out with. And whether we have enough bark to actually do all this. If not, I may have to grow another tree and cut it down, which would be kind of sad. So, as much as I'd like to launch right into this building, this episode has already run kind of long, and I've already gotten a building montage, or a unbuilding montage in here. So we'll go ahead and start with this next episode. Until then, have some fun, build something cool, and have a nice day.